Alright, we can go ahead and get started. I'm Tori Pelfrey, the district representative, and we're here for the IEP meeting for Steve Smith, which is a 4th grader here at Portsmouth Elementary School. His parents aren't able to be here at the meeting, but I'll go ahead and have the school psychologist get started and kind of tell us about his background and his disability.
Okay, I'm Kristen Johnson, a school psychologist. Steve's in 4th grade, so he's 10 years old, and he is of average physical development compared to his other peers. His mental functioning, however, resembles a quite younger grade. His ability to use his memory and to associate concepts and problem solving are pretty limited, like I said, compared to his other peers. These problems have resulted in many secondary issues, such as the inability to participate in certain peer activities, and also his lack of motivation for academic performance, which his teacher will kind of go into that. And he does not participate in any after-school activities, which we think in the long run would help him if he did decide to do something like this. Such as a sport or a club. His family lives at a borderline poverty level with both of his parents working full-time. They're caught up in their jobs and just don't have the time to work with Steve to help him academically. And his, like I said, he's physically grown at a normal rate. And his teachers began to notice his academic struggles early on whenever he was in kindergarten. That's whenever he was identified, was later in the year. And he was identified through testing and by observation by the teachers and other staff. Steve showed signs of not paying attention, just couldn't sit still, just couldn't focus, and not retaining the material that was being taught to him. And Steve has fallen short with his ability to use his memory, like I said, in his associative concepts and his problem-solving skills that should be happening in kindergarten. His parents are aware of his academic performance and has given the school their permission to include Steve in any or all help he may need from the intervention specialist.
We'll go ahead and let Maria get started and let us know how he's doing in the classroom.
Okay, well, I'm Steve's teacher, and he's in the general education classroom right now. He's not specifically in an intervention specialist room, but we hope to keep him in the general education classroom. Right now, Steve is doing pretty well with him being in my classroom, and he does get help when he needs the help. So the intervention specialist does come and aid Steve when he needs it in certain subjects, not all subjects. So currently we want to keep him in the general classroom because he doesn't have any physical disabilities, and his parents know that, and they're happy with the fact that he is in the general education classroom right now. We want him to remain that way, so we're going to keep pushing forward and setting certain goals for Steve academically that we can help him. Hopefully Steve will not get any worse, but will only improve. So that's why we're going to keep helping Steve when he needs it academically, and hopefully in other aspects as well. We want to just keep improving him and giving him the intervention that he needs. He's not a problem at all in my classroom. Behaviorally, he's really good. We just need to work on his motivation, because it's really hard trying to get him to do certain activities or some group work because he doesn't want to communicate with his peers as much. And I think maybe if we find stuff that Steve is really interested in, we can boost up his motivation. Really, if he had more motivation, he would increase his academic performance, because he would do a lot better if he was more willing to work with me and work with his peers and finding things he's interested in.
Does he have problems like working in groups or anything, like when you have assignments in the classroom?
No, I don't think he has problems working with groups. I think he just has issues communicating. So he might be maybe shy or afraid to mess up around them. So maybe we'll try to put him in certain groups where he'd feel more comfortable with. And because he does well with around others, he just, I think, keeps things to himself. So we'll have to figure out something to help with his communication with other group members.
Now, does he get sidetracked whenever he's in the groups, or?
Sometimes he can because of his lack of motivation. If he's not interested in something, he'll look around and find something that he is interested in. But that is something that we can work on too.
Great. We will go ahead and let Alyssa tell us about the intervention.
Well, it sounds like so far so good. We'll go ahead and continue to do the intervention with reading to improve a little bit more than where he's reaching right now. We'll also do just intervention or aid services as needed, like with the other subjects. His math is it is increasing, but like I said, we'll if he starts dropping, we'll have somebody come in and help him with that. Like Maria said, place him in groups that he feels more comfortable with. Maybe peers that are a little bit more social and academically doing well. Maybe that'll help motivate him to participate and to communicate better. We do want to kind of push for being involved in more school activities. We want to work on his social skills.
All right, we can go ahead and we can kind of go ahead and discuss the goals that we have set for him.
Okay.
Whoever wants to get started with that.
For some short-term goals, I think we need to, Steve will need to work on like positive communication skills with his teachers. And that'll definitely be a short-term goal that we'll all need to try to push for Steve. Also, like we discussed, find things that he's interested in. Maybe set time aside to kind of create a survey of his likes and dislikes and apply that to your lesson plans. So Steve will not only be interested but engage better and retain better to the information. Some long-term goals, let's work on getting Steve to complete the 4th grade with his peers, same level as his peers academically. Let's not allow him to decrease in any subjects, only improve.
Right. So other than that, academically, he seems to be doing fine.
He is.
Just in the reading.
Yes, reading. His math is doing okay. Something that we should check mark on his frequency with reporting to his parents about his academics. The child's progress, he will be reported to the parents like each time report cards are issued. I think another goal that should be attained is just talking to his parents more. I think it'd be good if we got them more involved in maybe his education. We could find out a way to communicate better with them through maybe email, phone, text messages, whatever would be more convenient for them, or maybe set a time like a month that they could come to the school and like meet with me or like the IS teacher. Maybe we can set a time to.
Have they been to any like parent-teacher conferences or anything throughout the year?
They work full-time, so they kind of struggle being able to meet. So that's why I think maybe emails or text messages or phone calls, something like that they will be able to do.
Do you think they would be willing, or is it just the aspect of working full-time? Or?
I think they would be willing if they could be able to work it somehow around their work schedule. Like I said, I don't know if they work nights, if they work morning, I don't know. So
we'll have to figure out their work schedule. Maybe could do like a FaceTime Skype session where we can talk about things, or I could send newsletters too about what Steve's been doing in the class lately and how he's been doing.
Maybe in the classroom, like we could start maybe once a week or every other week, just kind of send something home and stick it in this book bag, and we can let the parents know that we're sending something home, you know, maybe from both of you, just kind of like an update of how he's doing so they are aware. So, I mean, because it would be really helpful to get them more involved so it's not just him improving here at school and not when he goes home.
We can find maybe some flyers and stuff of things going on outside of school too, to get him more involved. Maybe like some sports tryouts or fun clubs that he can join that like won't cause them any issues to get him home. Maybe that might like find them interested in doing something like that to help with his communication.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Yeah, I think extracurricular activities would really help. And especially, you know, when he improves his communication with his peers, that's going to make him more comfortable in the classroom to improve academically.
The more that he's with the peers too, like maybe the more motivated he'll be and better with group work. So
does he seem like, you know, maybe like at recess or not?
The kids seem to like him. I mean, he just doesn't like to talk to him. He doesn't like to, he just kind of likes to be by himself.
Well, maybe we can encourage some of the other kids to help encourage him to include him and maybe invite him to do things or play with him at recess or different things in the classroom like that.
Like, I don't know if I mentioned it, but if he doesn't start improving on some of these aspects, we will have to pull him out of the regular ed classroom. Because we do want to focus on those academic skills and social skills. I would like to keep him in the regular classroom as much as possible, though, because I think that will help. But we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Like how his parents feel about, you know, him being in the regular
Well, that's
classroom,
something we
or if
could
he's
discuss
pulled
with
out.
them too. I mean, if they have a problem with him, you know, being out of the regular ed classroom, we're going to have them, we need your support, we need you to communicate with us. I know you work full-time jobs, but we're going to have to communicate on some level so we don't have to reach that point of transferring out of the regular classroom.
I think Maria said that they really liked him being in the general ed classroom. So I don't know if that would be an issue if, you know, he would have to go into, you know, one-on-one or whatever. I don't know if that
Should motivate them though.
Yeah.
You know,
they are aware of his disabilities, so maybe if they realize that he's not doing as well as they thought he was, they would understand. But that's something we can talk about with him.
How's he do with, like, does he have any trouble, like, with test taking or anything like that?
No, I think we just need, his reading is really what struggles him. So sometimes he needs help with certain questions because there's a lot of bigger words on their testing. But
that's where the aid would come in.
Yes.
And help read the test to him.
Once he gets his reading down, though, then he'll be more on track.
Well, do you guys think that we covered everything? Is there anything else that we need to go over or discuss?
I think we need to schedule a time to come back and check his progress. So see how he is at the end of the year. If for the 5th grade, if he needs to continue having an aide follow him.
And I can go ahead after the meeting and everything and go ahead and give his parents a phone call.
Okay.
And leave a message if I have to, and just kind of see if we can get a meeting set up with them or what they prefer, and kind of let them know, you know, kind of give them a recap of the IEP meeting so they know what was discussed and what went on and how he's doing. And then hopefully they can let us know a day or time to meet and get everything squared away.
Okay.
So I think everything with his goals and things in the classroom sound like they're going in the right direction.
Hopefully he'll make it to 5th grade next year. It's their main goal.
All right.
Sure is.
Anybody else got anything?
No.
I think we're good.
All right. Sounds good.
Session complete.
That was at 14 minutes, isn't it?